I'm going to continue to discuss self-defense because I know that some of you appreciate these perspectives. Okay. And so it's because of that that I am going to continue the discussion. I'm also happy to announce that I did some digging, and sometimes you have to go to other search engines other than Google to find certain DVDs or VHS tapes that were turned later into digital files that are not yet on YouTube until now. But were previously put on archive.org. Archive.org. The audio is low, however, and so you're going to have to boost your speakers in order to hear the video. So I'm going to tell you about the video. You can look up the video, and you can see the stars of the video. And so I learned some things from the A-Man, and then I learned some things from this videotape. And I think there are some Bolo Young martial arts moves that are worth resharing. I, in psychosis right now. I'm joking. But I see myself as capable of looking at martial arts movies and then telling you, I think these are legit moves. And so, yes, guys, I know a lot about the solar flares, but to prevent the top of my head from blowing off, at times I got to stop obsessing on the same actual topic and then for a few days just talk about the same thing. You may not be as interested in the content as, say, the sun, but I do think it's related. For me to be wearing solar colors, for me to go out in the sun, and for me to spend time doing circular motion, and for me to spend time also away from the heavy weights at the gym. I haven't been to the gym in a week. Oh, wait, I went to punch the bag briefly and then left. Just that. And I hadn't worked the bag in 4 years, and so I had to take it easy. And so, yes, I do think I have what it takes to teach you the basics of striking. And so if you respect the likes of Tate, Tyson, John Wayne, then you shouldn't be into MMA Jiu-Jitsu superiority complexes. It has its role, but I fail to see the really strong role that MMA plays in a street situation where there's multiple opponents. And now, with Twitter and the situation with the migrants in New York that attacked the cop, I don't support attacking police. Shouldn't even have to say that, and I don't. So when I see that, I see a situation in which that cop should be more trained, but you never know when you come across more dangerous people. Just because someone's a migrant or a foreigner or the descendant of a foreigner doesn't necessarily make them more dangerous or worse or better or anything. We're all human. So what I'm going to do for you, okay, because I'm going to watch it front to back, and I'm going to be doing more of these. This is for those of you to join Substack. Substack so far is allowing me to play movies. Did you know this? I have a lot to say about Hollywood movies, and I think there's a lot of Hollywood movies that have a lot of truth in them. I just watched Truman Show again the other day, and at times, even though you're there and you may be a soul, I feel like I'm in the Truman Show. Some of you do too, but I'm not into the flat earth. Not saying you are. Some are. Into the flat earth Truman Show. But just me being aware of the reality and the archons and the solar flares and the patterns, it's very much like me in the Truman Show hitting pause on life. So I really foresee myself right now being a philosopher for those of you men and women of various ethnicities, but many of you that are white and spiritual have found me recently. And you may not have heard about people like me with certain types of trauma that were born into white families, but because of our father's heritage and 9/11, we came out kind of extra traumatized because both sides of our family didn't nurture us in the way that they should have. And then the world wasn't very happy with some of us that are labeled certain things. And I took on, because I wasn't raised right, a certain persona regarding myself because there wasn't really the nurturing that I needed from my mother's side of the family to create that identity that taught me about that ancestry, the Welsh, the Austrian. I was almost kind of set up for failure to see myself as just my father's son. Plus, I was thrown away and had to live with my father. So when I talk about my childhood and my mother listens and other relatives listen, it isn't attacking. It is a part of the chronology of what will be the Alex Ansary story. Now, moving on. The Alex Ansary story has different layers to it and labyrinths, which one day may even be put into animations, reenacting aspects of my story. In fact, I'm going to take aspects of Bolo Young movies and not just slow down and show you the real martial arts moves, but aspects of scenes in the movies that are reenactments of The A-man. So Bolo Young is the Chinese A-man. The A-man having lived a real life doing real security and other adventurous things that were not uncommon for men of capability. In the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, until the clampdown came, Big Brother was rolled out with 9/11, and the new gangsterism was the government, was big banks, was the military-industrial complex. Again, as Alex Ansary, the historian of the 21st century, sees it. The underground became mainstream. Corporations declared themselves people, and anyways, the self-defense for everybody from the Alex Ansary perspective encompasses the aura: spiritual protection, fasting, solar power, recognizing the connection between the sun and muscle growth, the sun and increased sexuality between man and woman, the sun and overcoming things that some people may call erectile dysfunction, if, say, they're afflicted with such a thing, due to alchemical processes that I intuitively know are reactivated in the male specimen, because, like, I'm smart like that and stuff. Yes, on a planet B reality, I would have many kids with many partners. I would be a guide to many women and men, but I would not be homo. But yes, I could see myself in an off-grid environment working with talented martial artists that could whip me in seconds, but working with them in a same, Rocky could take Mick, right? You know that, right? But yet Mick's the trainer. Don't you forget it. Mick's the trainer, Rocky's the one being trained. But Rocky at any point can be like, "Damn you, Mick, I am going to get you, old man." But what did Mick do in Rocky 3, which I'm reviewing, by the way, without even realizing I'm getting gnosis? But Mick tried to warn Rocky. And Rocky went in there against Mr. T because he wouldn't listen. He wasn't properly trained. They can get all, I'm a Rocky. I can take on Mr. T. Mr. T threatened my wife, my girlfriend, Adrian. But I'm going to go in here and act like this is some... No, this dude's dangerous, bro. Your trainer warned you. You're like, this dude ain't no joke. He's from the streets. He will literally kill your ass. Anyway, Rocky didn't listen. So Rocky's like, and he literally had to, Mick, we won. Because he couldn't break his heart. In ways I'm not going to specify to you, I've been that way with you and family, where I just haven't wanted to tell you how bad it's been. It's basically like we're sitting here on the table dying, like Mick in Rocky 3. It's actually quite sad. So, hey, we have spilled lots of tears because we have been weakened, and we have to rise, and Rocky has to rise and beat Mr. T. How is he going to do this? Okay, let us now begin with the next stage of this. What I am going to do for you now, Daniel-san, is bring to you at this time self-defense for everyone. If you have seen Big Trouble in Little China, you have seen James Liu. Hopefully, we will not get a copyright strike. I hope some of you appreciate this. I hope G-Man appreciates this, who trained himself in Wing Chun. And my friend, I just want you to remember this for your next lifetime if you end up coming back to Earth. That when you develop a friendship with a young man who has certain capabilities, you don't go alpha on him and lead him to dark things. You guys train on the bag, and you both become bad mofos. And you go out and you save people basically from burning buildings, basically, in the streets. You don't go out looking for street fights. You go out like guardian angels, looking to protect people and women from assault. That's what you do as a pumped-up young man. Okay, so just remember that from me to you, that I'm the teacher now. Okay, I am the teacher now. Let us begin. Are you ready? There's also another guy in this DVD that the A-Man knew, and he is the bald guy. He was also in Big Trouble in Little China. I believe that the DVD was organized by a man by the name of Tom Farrar. And to find the DVD, remember, I've looked for this for years, so it may not mean anything to you, but because I was with my dad in Portland, Oregon in 1991, we were in Southeast Portland on Hawthorne. And I walked in, and there it was on VHS. And it's very rare to see a quality VHS tape. You know what I'm talking about. Movies, but that's not instructional, and you know that. Movies are, back in the day, VHS instructionals were like $50. $50, dude. $50. Look at Black Belt Magazine from 1980. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now we're in the era, folks, in which you don't have to go to MMA and you can watch a video that used to be $50 straight up for free on the Alex Hansery YouTube channel, plus get commentary on what I think about the whole thing. Okay? So, I'm actually rather optimistic and positive about what I'm doing today. And, you know, if I choose to go out and have a couple IPAs, I will do so smiling, knowing that I demonstrated to you actual martial artists that can demonstrate real-world fighting abilities, whereas I have not, because I'm just a regular Joe who's a philosopher, and I may have fought in past lifetimes and battles, right? I'm telling you, I think I have abilities from other lifetimes. So you should be willing to at least hear some of my perspectives based on what I think intuitively works. However, I came to this inner knowing, and there are techniques in this that I say are legit. Let's begin. I'm glad I found this on archive.org. You can listen to my appearance on Clyde Lewis's Ground Zero Radio in 2010, exposing Antifa, at archive.org. Later, I'm going to put it on Substack. I don't know the exact year this was released. I found it in 1991 on VHS and had it for many years. Whereas I had no other VHS tapes other than movies, and then some Taekwondo classes, some boxing, some Kung Fu, some Hwarangdo. I'm going to just roll it back just for a minute, because I do think the soundtrack is decent for the era and just kind of match the rhythm. So, where you're going to watch real martial artists show real martial arts before the MMA, and all these dudes can fight. I like that one. This one, that's Old Portland. That's Foster. I'm kidding. You know it looks like Old Portland. See that? That's what I showed you. Knife hand.
Hello, I'm Tom Farrar.
And I'm Lisa Liu.
Behind us is a beautiful American city that some people may call paradise. From up here, it may look like paradise, but it too has its share of violent crimes such as muggings, assaults, rapes, and even murder.
It's a fact that most people would like to believe they'd never be a victim of a violent crime. But did you know that your chances of being a victim of a violent crime are much greater than your chances of ever being involved in a minor traffic accident? You might think this only affects people in larger cities, but realistically, it affects everyone at any age and all parts of society.
Self-defense for everyone is designed for all of us who are tired of living in fear in our everyday lives, only because you have not been shown what to look for or how to avoid a potentially dangerous situation. If you think we're trying to frighten you with these statements, you're right, we are. Police department statistics show that in your lifetime, you will be a victim of a robbery or some kind of personal assault. This action-packed informative show on self-defense is desperately needed in our society today. Some of the experts appearing on the show will be James Liu, one of the most active contributors to action-adventure films and television. James was publisher of one of the most popular martial arts magazines in the world, and choreographer and associate producer of the movie Big Trouble in Little China.
Also, Tom, there's Gerald Okamura, known as the man of many weapons. He has many film credits to his name, such as The Octagon with Chuck Norris and The Sword and the Sorceress.
And then there is
And so the A-Man knew him at one point.
Champion, who is also famous for his work with children. And Daryl Gooden,
James Liu, maybe. I don't think so. The guy from Karate Kid 2, yes. And Cobra Kai.
And last but not least, there's Tom Farrar, who's been teaching self-defense to the media for years. Now, the rise in violent crime leaves every citizen a potential victim. Everyone viewing the show, even once, will learn enough through awareness to make their world a safer place. Now, let's take a look at self-defense for everyone.
This program is divided into 2 easy-to-learn sections. Part 1 is self-defense options, and Part 2 is basics of self-defense. The first of the 2 sections is options of escape for different threatening situations that are likely to occur in a person's lifetime.
I think a lot of these are realistic and simple. It was designed for women to learn from this.
Escape, taught to you by one of the masters. Then we will go back to our victim and see which method they chose to escape the situation. Our second section will teach you the fundamentals of self-defense, which are Basic Methods of Falling by Master Okamura, Blocking and Punching by Master Gooden.
I learned how to roll from this tape. I've rolled while megaphoning 9/11 Truth on concrete in Portland from this tape.
Incapacitating Techniques by Master Liu.
Right there.
And Weapons by Master Okamura.
I don't know how you get the guy to roll like that, though. That part's... So, you know...
Most of us would feel safe walking in the park in the middle of the day. But just how safe are you?
And will it get?
This young lady is preoccupied with other thoughts.
With her cell phone.
So she is completely unaware of what is about to happen to her.
Instagram.
What are her options? Let's go into the studio with the masters and find out.
He's activated by the solar flares.
To the victim, he grabs him. The victim breaks the arms.
Circular
away,
motion.
He grabs the wrists. As we struggle,
leg.
I kick him into the shin with my right foot, placing my right hand on his right hand, bringing my elbow over, and bringing him down, causing pressure on his wrist. When he's down like this, he's vulnerable for a knee attack to the chest, which knocks him down, giving me time to run. When I run, the best advice always said is to scream fire, not help or rape.
I'm not rating this the highest of the techniques in the tape, this here. I'm just not commenting.
The next part of it, I'll be doing it by myself. Person comes up, he grabs me. I break the grab away, placing my foot into his shin, grabbing his hand with my right hand, grabbing his right hand, bringing my elbow over, bringing him down. From this point, he's open for a knee to the chest.
You need a partner to practice certain techniques.
Next, I'll try it a little faster.
We can talk another time about finding a partner that's not psychotic. It's not easy.
We struggle. I kick him into the shin, grabbing his hand, bringing him down, opening him for a knee to the chest.
There's no reason G-Man and I wasted our time doing dumb things and not training. No excuse. He actually provided arguments against it. Not impressive.
I back up, strike the elbows, which causes the stress on...
We should have been acting like we were on the same team on Cobra Kai from the TV show or something.
Slamming straight to his throat. Grab from behind.
I like this one. So I was 13 practicing this in Aurora.
Chest, face, whatever's
without a partner.
Come down.
From the tape.
Strike with the elbow to his back of his neck.
That's complex, but it's well thought out.
Okay. I'll run through it slowly and on my own so you can see what's going on. He comes up, grabs me, step back, strike his elbows, forcing his grip to loosen.
Now the A-man's more ba-boom, ba-boom. This is a little bit more martial arts, but it's not without value.
Behind his neck, step up, pulling him down, smashing my knee into his
Never know when you might want to deliver a knee or a leg.
Come down with the elbow on the back of his neck.
Because you're busy with your hands.
Forcing him down, and for me to get out of the situation.
Or you're holding something.
Okay, let's try that again. Let's see how
or you're filming.
Here, strike, hit, and escape.
And escape, not roll around and do MMA. He said escape. He didn't say MMA. He didn't say roll around. Nope. This is circular motion again. So, yeah, when the A-man dealt with the riot, not from the Bloods and Crips, but the Bloods, just make sure we're activated here. Here we are. Here we are. You and I. Excellent.
Again, to demonstrate the technique in a little bit slower fashion. First, I'm grabbing.
I apologize, the audio is low. But he was in a situation where he was having to deal with a blood riot, not Bloods and Crips, but a blood riot at a hotel in the Portland area, and it was literally like a waist or a hand twist type of a thing to get out of a grip to deliver several blows, knocking out those folks. So you have to be kind of in a soft defensive slip out of. And when I was naughty, when I got involved in unfortunate things in 1998, putting harmful things inside of me due to unresolved child abuse, child trauma, and abandonment issues. When I developed that that legal issue, it's because I basically did a slip when they were basically saying, nope, those aren't your pants, bro. Nordstrom products are for customers, Alex. Gee, what a naughty guy. And I pull this type stuff and something else and go ninja and just go, whew. So this was something that I did do in a escape technique and literally exited my coat. They're holding on to me. I exited my coat and do a little whew, and some other, and I was gone like Flynn. Wasn't a good thing. Totally embarrassed, but that's why I was able to get out of that detainment attempt. And you might, as a woman one day, need to know how to get out of your jacket. There's a number of things the more keener aspects of the audience might pick up on. Others might be like derpy derp 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 derp. Derpy derp derp derp, dislike derp 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 derp. My advice, take all the advice you can get from me. There was a point in time where you had to pay for this knowledge. Now you're in the era of Aquarius. It is an era of revelation. So excuse the fact the audio is just not great.
First, I'm grabbed by both my wrists by the opponent. I reverse the grab and grab my opponent, execute a front shin kick to the groin, and as I come forward, my momentum carries me forward, and I execute a right palm heel to the nose. I will demonstrate now for you a little bit faster. He grabs, I release, kick, groin.
I'll try to talk lower if I'm loud, but circular motion to palm strike, I showed you that already, a different variance. So this is also important.
Follow it through with an elbow strike, continue the movement.
I think this guy's Hispanic. So this guy's moving in a circular motion and just moving.
Back into a defensive stance away from the opponent where he might not reach you.
Away so they can't take you to what? The ground. The ground. You don't want to voluntarily go on the ground. Voluntarily.
Now this time I'll be doing it just a little bit faster. Sarah gets a hold of me from behind.
Later, the guy the A-Man knew shows you how to get off the ground. It's coming later in the
Now
tape.
let's see which option she has chosen to make.
As a woman, you don't want to wrestle with the man on the ground. You want to get up. You want to stay on your feet. Run.
You may be able to avoid a confrontation altogether.
The women listening now need mace. You don't have to have negative karma in your life to deal with attempted sexual assault.
It's all your fault. You're being such a jerk. No way. Not.
If it were you, how would you break your fall
Now,
safely?
that is a very important way to break a fall.
On the ground. Watch and listen carefully, and the masters will answer these questions with some simple, easy-to-learn tips.
There are a few things that I like to emphasize here. He breaks his fall with the use of his arms and his hands. You want to break your fall with the palm of your hand hitting the ground, not the back side of the hand. He can injure a lot of small bones in his hand. So the application here is to break your fall, making the palm of your hands and the inside of your arms to hit at the same time. Both arms at the same time. I'm down on the ground. I use my basic technique as far as falling. Now, as I bring myself up, I can view the assailant. As I come up, all I have to do is roll into him. 1, 2, 3, and an elbow to the groin. I like to show you that in low slow motion. I'm knocked to the ground. I'm down on the ground. I make my basic fall. Now, As I bring myself up, I size up the opponent. As his foot gets in, I come around, wrap around his foot, and just...
This can work in some situations. You should develop your intuition to do it or not do it. You need to be bold with this. This can work. This guy knows what he's talking about, but that's not going to work with every situation. See how quick he did that?
I've been knocked down on the ground.
You can find this in its purity without me speaking at archive.org. Tom Farrar, Self-Defense for Everybody, found on DuckDuckGo.
I do from here, pop up.
Could not find this on Google. I've practiced this also as a kid. He's not doing MMA, ground fighting.
Bring him down.
Like a dragon. You see what you see this whole thing here?
Behind the head,
as a necessity.
pull up, slam his face down to the ground.
I would not do that if that's concrete at all. No way. There's no way I would do that.
Okay.
To legal repercussions, you gotta understand this. This is the 80s.
As a technique-wise,
You know what I mean?
Bring him back up.
You can't do certain techniques and get away with it in today's day and age. Have you seen Butterfly Effect?
Hook around with your left foot.
Yeah, so far so good. And if they go to the ground because they're assaulting you or robbing you, that's on them for robbing you of your camera or whatnot. But as far as punches and assaults, that's next level. I don't recommend that unless it's life or death and random people you meet in the street, you know, that are thugs. That might be packing guns, you know, but like friends and scuffles, you know, no, you don't want to do that.
Push down.
Yeah. Some of you would have really blown up on that guy in New Mexico in 2016, and you know for a fact it's true. Some of you might even think I'm girly for not actually laying down the law in 2016, actually. Which is one of the reasons I didn't put out there when it happened.
The attacker comes at you. He steps left, he steps right.
Yeah, yeah. You need to know when to use restraint. But you have a right to stop someone from hitting you. You know that, right? This is legit. Just because the man's old and he's not in the UFC doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to fight. And teach women how to fight. This was a masculine man who knew how to fight in the 80s. Women today can learn from these tapes. Breaks his fall. Comes up.
As he steps forward, I guide his foot out, kicking him into the groin. Slide to my left foot down, kicking him into the knee.
I call it like a dragon kick.
To get up, he comes at me one more time,
back kick.
in the chest, and I run.
Back kicks are powerful. There are certain pads that are ideal for, you know, kicking. If you have a partner. Man, it'd be great to have a sexual partner and a martial arts partner, but that's Planet B level. Maybe one day, you know. One day. See, she's running. She's not going to do MMA. Maybe mixed martial arts to escape, but not roll around on the ground, get all sweaty for 20 minutes with a ground and pound. Here they come, the guys that came up with my mom and the A-Man in 1982 in downtown Portland. Okay, how is MMA going to help you with two guys? Boom boom's all it's going to help you.
When the couple realizes what is going on, it is too late.
She needs to know how to fight in this situation.
How to escape a situation like
so
this.
He's a good man in the situation. He's taught her what to do.
First, I'll demonstrate a technique.
Here we go.
For the couple in the park while being attacked by two other assailants. Okay, first I'll demonstrate what one would do if, for instance, someone was flailing away at them.
Yeah.
Wild punches.
I told you this yesterday.
You to defend yourself, okay? Coming in, blocking, and you turn to block the other.
See what I'm saying?
Punch, you execute hit with the elbow, the forearm, and the opposite elbow you block.
I just showed you that.
Same thing. So one,
this guy here, yeah.
Very basic, very simple. I'll demonstrate for you now.
So let's see.
By myself, and a little bit slower.
30 years ago, I found this tape.
From outside to inside defense.
No.
Blocking the arm. As you come to do your other block, you execute elbow to the face, forearm to the face, opposite elbow to the face, and block.
32.
All in one motion. And then
32 years ago.
The other way, attacking opponent.
Hawthorne Boulevard. Alex and his dad. Hawthorne Boulevard, Portland, Oregon. 32, 33. years ago.
He's subdued.
Resurrecting the
Secondly, I'd
tape
like to illustrate
last night.
for you a technique while being held at bay from behind.
Providing dopamine to my brain.
Keeping in mind that this is a couple that are working
So I went,
together.
yes!
And what you want to do is
This is
cheat on
legit.
your opponent
But you can get caught.
as well as
But
on
this
your
is legit.
partner. You're watching and being aware of the whole situation.
No rolling around on the
In this
ground here.
situation, You use your peripheral vision to do a visual check
Peripheral
of
vision.
which hand the weapon is in. From here, you'll execute by turning to the outside
Circular
of the
motion.
weapon in the opponent, using your whole arm to control his arm up high, coming around, breaking the knife free, kicking the knee, hitting the nose as he goes down. I'll do the technique slowly by myself.
And all he did to the knee was cause him to fall. He didn't do a blood sport. Bolo.
The assailant. When I turn, I make sure
Okay,
I
that's
turn
Hollywood.
far enough out of the way, using my arm to defend and block, and then just using the pivotal point of my shoulder, swing it around, breaking the grip on the
Okay,
knife,
circular motion.
execute a side kick to the knee, breaking the nose.
Circular motion also comes from Aikido, which the man trained early on, but I haven't seen Aikido tapes
Realism to it. One thing
or
I should
YouTube
point out,
videos yet
before you
demonstrate
turn,
to
make
my
sure
liking,
when
you
you
know,
turn,
what I've
you do not
demonstrated.
turn
But if
too
it's out
far
there,
with the arm
send it
movement,
to me
because you
ASAP.
only end up being stabbed. So there's a little
For right now, all I got is Bolo Young, you know, action clips with a little bit of it thrown here and there,
turn
you know.
all around, hit,
And this, and Bruce Lee
Okay, this technique
did a
that
little
I'll
bit
be
of it,
demonstrating next would be
along
a
with street
two-inch
boxing
tape
pairing
would be
techniques,
a
which is
husband
smaller
and a
circular
wife
motion.
combination
Small
and a
circle.
girlfriend
There's
and
small
both
circle,
doing
large
Two
circle.
and two anyway. Now the situation is this, is where my other partner would be attacked, and the first attacker comes.
What
in
you
and
see
just
Daniel
goes in
San
and
doing in
single hand
Karate Kid
grabs.
is some
What I'm gonna
small
be
circle
doing,
and large
okay, I'm
circle.
gonna be
Circular
circling
motion
this
from
side,
the...
hit the arm more
So this is
upward,
interesting.
extend the elbow,
It's striking
feel
the
hand
sensitive
feel
nerves of the
technically so
bicep.
hit me unintentionally, hit into the chest, hit to the
This
side
is
of
very
the
Kempo
chest,
karate.
taking his, balance away, then back into a self
Multiple specific
fighting
hand and foot
I go
strikes.
through this slowly by myself.
You know, different than
It's a
kickboxing
check,
for
and then
sure.
I'm
But
throwing
it has
off
its
balance
place
and
to no
under,
pressure points.
clearing the hand, palm striking to the chest or throat, whatever's more available.
Remember, this
depending
is
on the size.
pre-UFC.
Hammer fist across into
So
the face
the
with
martial
the
arts were
left
still
hand.
developing.
Keep
Some
the leg
people
down,
believe none of this
back
stuff
into a
works if
balance
it's
position.
pre-planned.
Eric, let's try once again.
I would
Go
not
back, okay?
discount
See what I'm saying?
the
Okay.
benefit of being able to do that.
Then back into a stance right there immediately.
The A-Man's told me stories about people that he would describe as never coming at him short of a, you know what,
Bring the knife out.
you know.
Okay, here's where the opponent would be attacking you from behind a rear choke. But we'll be doing, let's position ourselves a little more this way so the TV people can see us. Okay, now I check the hand, elbow strong,
Bam,
hammer
elbow
fist
is
to the
strong.
groin. As I step behind back, still checking him.
In the next striking
Strike
video,
into
we're
the
going to
face,
show the hammer strike
buckling
to the
lid,
groin.
and then
It's a combo
Enjoying the
backhand of the
fire
same hand, backhand groin up
or
to
helping
backhand,
push
or
it
solar
I'll
plex
do it
strike.
slowly this time.
1, 2, 3,
Okay, what
or 1,
we'll
2,
be
or
doing
1,
from
2, 3,
here
4.
again,
Same hand.
checking
Boom,
the
boom, boom,
hand, because
boom.
You want to control that particular weapon. Elbow strike
Boom.
into the soaplex, hammer
Boom.
fist into
And then
the
I would say
groin,
up to the
and then as
face.
soon as you
Bam,
take a
to the
step back
face.
slightly, you hit
Cross to the
ribs,
face.
then from this
Cross to the
point you would
sorplex.
be
You know, just,
buckling
you
it
know,
down,
create your own
this
adventure.
strike then getting away from the opponent. Okay,
And
okay.
getting away. Not rolling on the ground, getting sweaty, you know, like you're 13 in wrestling school.
Grabs, okay.
You know,
You
let's
check
wrestle on
in
the
the
streets
elbow,
during the
hammer
LA
fist,
riots. Yeah, that sounds
take it
awesome.
down,
I'm sure the
then
Gracie
back
family
into
can help me
ready
with
to
that
continue
situation.
on,
No, they
or help
can.
your partner out.
I'm sorry, what? Has the Gracie
You
family
guys
put
come
out a
up,
tape to
hold
deal with
a
the riot
knife
situation?
on
Send me the
the
link
woman
then.
of the couple and grab the man of the
You need to
couple
know when
and
some
he
people
might-
might be in it for the money. I'm just speaking in a free flow.
He takes the person
Are
and
some
the
people
man
in it for the
goes
money, or are they teaching you how to deal with the real
momentum of
streets?
attacker
That was a
pointing in,
question.
grabbing right behind his head with the thumbs of both
You
hands
got to
on his
start with the
cheek.
basics, guys. Rolling around on the ground is not the basics. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you.
Here, your fingers
I don't
behind the
agree
head,
with you.
just guide your
I don't
forehead
agree with
right
you.
into his
These are the
nose.
basics. These are the
Here, when he
basics.
backs up, you come right up with your
You got that
knee.
guy from Over the Top saying you ain't shit to
Stomach
Stallone,
area or groin
you know,
area. If you're
and he's
further
coming up in your
enough,
space and there's no
groin.
cameras and you
Not
have to do something.
stepping back with your right
The
foot,
knee is hard, your elbows are hard, your head is hard.
into a wall that's nearby or anything else, or head first into the ground.
In some situations, if you don't strike first, they're going to harm you, seriously. It depends. You need to know intuitively if you have to act. The legal system's against you, defending your right to live, and wants you to shoot people and stuff. Yeah, you live in a Satan's kingdom. You best become spiritual to really deal with the streets so no one even attacks you. That's what you need. You need to become so spiritual you don't even have to pull anything out of your pocket. You need to try to be like me. That's how I live. I just walk around being spiritual and stuff, and the vast majority of the time, nobody tries to assault me if I just mind my own business. Most of the time. 95% of the time. Unless I go, like, hang out with people in an RV, and my RV breaks down because of Archons and stuff. Circular motion coming up, 12 o'clock. Circular motion coming up. This is legit. This is legit right here. Boom. You need a partner, though, and if you don't train properly, you'll hurt someone. Bam. Disarm. Don't stab him. Just get out of there, bro. Watch Butterfly Effect. Look what they did to him for just defending himself.
I grab the knife away, cut the attacker's hand, twisting, causing pressure on the wrist. I throw him to the ground, kicking to the armpit, pulling the knife out, escaping the situation. One more time on the attacker. Comes in, he holds the knife. He looks down.
Quick.
Takes the knife away, cut him, throw him down.
I was on this guy's website last night. He's really aged. This is him as a young man. Bam.
This couple took a chance that their assailants were blooded.
This man believed that a woman in the 80s had the strength to do this.
Each situation is different.
Are the men in your life training you? Can you write me an essay today? Send it to me via email as the answer. Why the answer is no. The woman that I love who moved out of Portland, does your man work with you? Why did you say that you were turned off by me hitting the heavy back in 2009 when men should know how to defend women? No offense, but what's wrong with you? Why would you look down upon a man who can strike down men that want to harm women and basically sell them as property? I don't understand the thinking. I think not only men have become feminized, but some women have become conditioned to disliking men that can, you know, basically be Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. Okay, look at this. He spits, strike.
Now, let me do this by myself, guys. Guy comes at me. The element of surprise here is that
element of surprise.
You spit in anybody's face.
Or mace.
The reaction is for him to cover his face. So that's the distraction that I want.
Or speak truth about the New World Order and cause confusion by putting out gnosis. That's one of my backhand techniques for the streets. Not that I actually have had to use it yet, but you know.
Hit, follow up with a backhand, your momentum.
Right. That was the same hand, right? Wasn't it? 1-2. Spit in a 1-2. You need to be able to strike multiple times with one hand in different directions. Boom, 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 before you even go into cross mode. Boom, boom. Right? That was a straight and an elbow.
Okay. Now we have a situation of two people.
I know what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter if I haven't fought in the Kumite. These people know what they're talking about. Just because they're not doing ground and pound doesn't mean that they don't know and haven't fought in real situations. Because they have. Without protection and without clowns like Joe Rogan acting like they're somebody.
As he's backing up and the other fellow's coming at me, come back with an elbow.
Elbow? Look familiar? Does any of this look familiar to you?
From there,
now here's this. I've done this, but not with two folks, just one. He came at me with kicks, and I took him down to the clothes hanger at the age of
what this does,
14.
Instead of trying to fight two people,
13.
I'm trying to eliminate that the advantage they have by blocking one person out of me. Okay, so what we do is, again.
The irony was I was trading mostly in kicks, not that, and it just came out of me. From the videotape, I don't know.
The face, grabbing person's arm.
See.
There, strike with.
You usually see pro wrestlers do this. But this is a real technique that doesn't knock somebody out, but it's going to take them off their feet. You may need to neutralize like a bouncer situation without causing brain damage. It's called self-control and restraint. It's called not letting your anger overtake you and just reacting. And then Just because you react, though, doesn't mean they might just not make something up. I dealt with that situation where somebody just made something up. All I did was respond when he took my camera. Okay, so now I know this world really is ruled by Satan. For people to manipulate the situation like I was wrong. You're not wrong for resisting robbery or rape. Okay, and you can take that to the bank. Now this is interesting. I don't know about all that, but if you can pull it off, more power to you. It's time for me to make my breakfast while this is streaming. Well, good luck with that.
So the third, get a hold of it from there, keep block, boom, hit, boom, knee, boom, rear kick, then back into a defensive stance.
As they come up, one approaches me.
Back to Tom.
For a cigarette.
This is
He
good.
asks me for a cigarette and pushes me. I say I don't smoke. This one says, "Then how about your?"
So the A-man had a friend that was approached by some black thugs or a black thug in Portland. He's like, "Give me a cigarette." Same type of thing, and boom, with a pair of boom, just like that, he went down. And I thought to myself, what a jerk. But you know what? Right? Yeah, we didn't come up like these folks that have been manhandled because people decided they would like try them and like, no, you're gonna give me a cigarette. And back in the day, like assaults started that way. And so, you know, the legal system isn't in our favor. However, in dealing with these people, it's in their favor. And so you need to understand, you need to be intelligent enough to realize when the system is releasing hardcore thugs and then innocent people that defend themselves are being persecuted by the system and the algorithm. You need to be like followers of Christ to have like the voice of God be louder than the voice of evil. So what this guy is doing as they're about to attack him is justified. But in the legal system, it's not. So what are you going to do when the lights go out and things like this happen? Or what are you going to do when you're white and someone's targeting you, whether white or black or Latino? And as far as the attack on whites from the Great Replacement theory, I will be discussing that now in the future and why I think it's happening, or aspects of it. And there is an aspect to white people that is spiritual that they want to take away from you. That's why they want to adulterate things in the society and create the anti-white sentiment. And so if you're looking for someone to address the issue without engaging in racism, you found the right channel. But you need to back me up and acknowledge the shit that happened to me as a soul. And stop trying to silence me when I do talk about my past. You need to do the opposite of saying or writing anything to me that would encourage me to stop expressing what happened to me in this life. Because I think in the end you're going to find out I am a warrior, I am a man of God, and your people and my parents should have been listening to me since the day I came out of the womb regarding everything. Me wanting to play guitar, me wanting to explore this, travel here, do that. Like, I was right about like a crap load of things. And I was wrong to be abandoned. I was wrong to be left in Portland alone for people like the G-Man to take advantage of my kind nature. And he was wrong to think that I had no martial arts ability and to try to be alpha with me, even to this day. So let's learn from real martial artists that aren't lost in ego, that are willing to be on camera to promote women's self-defense. Let's watch real men, not men rolling around on the ground worshiping the Gracie family and stuff.
Wallet. As he does that, before he gets tea of wallet out of his mouth, I come down, hitting to
preemptive defense, because he knows the attack's coming. Okay, and I knew that that's what I left out of my videos, because I'm not going full Rambo on you with strikes. I really need a dummy and a partner to do that, and I need more training, but really, F it. We're going to do it live in the spirit of Bill O'Reilly. We're going to do it live. What does that mean? We're going to roll with what I've got right now, with what I've got. I already gave you a bunch, and training techniques to get you going and building up your conditioning, your muscles. As far as strength training, you already have a million coaches out there for that. But if you want that too, to hear and see me huff and puff, and people say, no, your kind should never display strength and power and prana. What a narcissist. Well, they will do it. Well, they will watch channels where others do it. Well, Gunner will be subscribed to a Kung Fu channel, but he won't subscribe or listen to the dude that he got in trouble talk about martial arts because of ego and arrogance. And this is why your society is being taken over and will be invaded, because you don't even see the dangers coming because of your arrogance. You can't see the dragon strike. You can't even hypothesize the strike coming from China, whereas Ansari can, because Ansari is a real martial artist in spirit and knows the way of the dragon, the way of the fist. Some of you are so arrogant with your ways, despite what you learn from Wing Chun and the Asian martial arts, you still are downplaying China's abilities because of your arrogance. And with that, we'll go back to this video.
By this time, I know what they want. They want to steal my money, and besides, they'll most likely assault me. From here,
he knows what they want, so he's already moving into action. Just as the A-man preemptively moved into action on two men that were going to attack him and my mother. But would the law be on his side? Or would be the law be on their side? And would they call the cops, he assaulted me? And would the cops go to the channel and go, look at this guy, he's a patriot who stands against injustice. F him. The Alex Ansari story will be told. So those of you out there in the audience have a decision to make. Either you're on the side of God and Christ, and you support me and my right to self-defense, or you support people that have harmed me for being a effing man and warning you about things to come. I believe God supports me promoting you defending yourself. And if you think there are videos out there that people have made supporting me doing this, you are wrong and you have no evidence. But we can look right now and see a mentally disturbed person that made videos shaming me for showing you self-defense moves. And if we look at this person and this person's identity from MGTOW, we see one of the most feminized, weak human beings you have ever seen in your life that despises the idea of a man knowing how to defend himself against assault. He interpreted what I was doing on my channel as, get this, threatening the audience. Now explain to me how a thinking can overtake a person to where that not only that happens, but an algorithm prefers that. Oh, wow, yeah. Threatening the audience? By telling you that it's a violent world, and I haven't told you all the assaults that have happened on my person, but it's going to come out. My autobiography will come out. Every story of every attack on me will be discussed. I swear in the name of Jesus, I would never make these stories up, including that I've never just walked up to a man and assaulted him in any way, shape, or form. Everything, well, I did overreact at 14 and fought my friend on the bus, school bus. That was different. Okay. But as far as like the streets as an adult in bars, never. Nor have I just dealt with wham-bam attacks at random in mass, with the exception of a few. I would say less than 10 as an adult. Maybe even major attacks less than 5, and never in a knockout, drag-out, beat to the ground, repeatedly strapped to a chair. Whereas the A-man, yes. The Portland police tortured the A-man. So all you people worshiping cops that have never been tortured by the cops because you broke curfew, you're jerks. I haven't been tortured by the cops. I have not. But I still know the cops have tortured people. So there's good cops and bad cops. Don't just worship all cops. There are some cops that rape women. There are some jail guards that rape women and allow homosexual men to rape other men. And I'm telling you, that's wrong. You cannot just worship the system entirely. A special message for you Trump folks that are still there, that see something in me, even though we don't agree on Trump. You need to learn something from this. What this man is doing is against the law, according to the system you're holding up. But you know that if he's with a woman, that he's in the right. So you have a decision to make. Which side are you on then? Are you on the side of the woman being defended from rape? Or are you on the side that's going to say he's engaging in assault for defending his woman? You need to think about this. And you need to think long and hard about this, because a day may come where you may have to preemptively defend yourself from a woman, from men that you know are going to grab the woman, and you may have legal repercussions for your actions. You may need to create a circumstance to where there is video surveillance and documentation of the incident. I'm going to stop microwaving my food, by the way, and pan fry it. So let me just start my food and get my spirilla going. We're going to watch that again, if you don't mind.
So
we're going to watch that again.
Rear kick, then back into a defensive stance.
As they come up, one approaches me, Say he asks me for a cigarette. He asks me for a cigarette and pushes me. I say I don't smoke. This one says, then how about your wallet? As he does that, before he gets tea of wallet out of his mouth, I come down.
Again, I'm sorry, just one last. You know, I'm not judging you if you do watch adult content. I get it, and there's reasons why I get it. But there's reasons why I encourage people to not be addicted to it or watch too much of it. And to not watch things that are morally corrupted, that promote illegal things. So there is stuff that they put out there to target kids that promotes men harming women in front of the men. And basically men apparently like this. And I find that content to be so hideous and satanic. And I would never want to know anyone that watched that content. Porno is one thing, I get it. But watching content where a man is being forced to watch another man like have sex with his wife is like totally satanic and evil. And I'm telling you, the system that many of you have been programmed to like love and support, that Pornhub system that's totally in line with like, you know, the lockdowns and politics, you know what I'm saying? Totally puts out content that shows men doing things to men's wives. That's not awesome. You don't have, no society like that has the high road over like anything you want to say about Muslims. It's just not okay. If I was in control, even if you would want to watch that content and break the law, and I wouldn't necessarily want you to be in prison, I would make sure it was banned and create an AI system that would ban that content. If I was in control, certain content that depicts certain levels of sexual violence would be filtered out, and there would be, in another video, I'll talk about what would Ansari's prison looks like that actually rehabs people. Because there is a version of a prison, just so you know, in which people do get better. In which the people in charge of your earth won't allow to exist. I just think you should know this. That the people that like run the show here like want people to get worse. That if you really want law and order, you're on the right channel. It's not Trump, it's not Biden. I'm your man. I am your man. I am your man. I'm not just a typical YouTuber, and I'm not just a parallel Jesus who's also a prophet. I am the dude that can reform your system if I was given any congressional power. You haven't even given me a chance. Fuck. A woman hasn't even kissed my lips in over 10 years or said that my eyes were beautiful. They used to say my eyes were beautiful all the time when I was a young kid. They don't do that anymore. That's not an accident. Okay.
Before either one swings is because by this time I know what they want. They want to steal my money, and besides, they'll most likely assault me. From here, I elbow him to the chest, knocking him away from me. He sees this and throws a punch. I do a basic block, outside block, which you will also learn in this tape, blocking his arm. Pulling him in with his momentum, I grab him right over the right shoulder with my right hand. Bringing my right knee up, I kick him into the chest. From here, he's got the wind knocked out of him. I bring him in, right into his partner, and run out of the situation. Now I'll try it on my own without my opponents. Comes up to me, he pushes me. The other one asks for my wallet. As he asks for my wallet, immediately I bend down, hitting to the groin, elbow to the chest. He punches. My hands are already guarding my center line. From here, I block, grabbing him, grabbing his shoulder, knee, throwing him into his partner, and escaping the situation. These all can be done with practice. You just have to watch carefully as we explain what you're doing. Listen to our words when we say your right foot, your left foot, your right arm. Next, they try it again. They try to attack me. When he says wallet, boom, I hit him once, boom in the chest. Block his punch, knee, and back into his partner, and escape the situation.
He escaped by using one opponent as a weapon against the other.
I want your lunch money, man.
We all know that even children are prone to attacks. However, they too can learn simple but effective self-defense.
Let's go through it slowly, you guys. Okay, what they're going to be doing is for a double-handed grab. Jeffrey will do the self-defense technique first. From there, what he does, he grabs, he hits to the arms, he clears again, does a chop into the neck.
That's
Then he gets
assault.
back into a self-defense technique. Let's go through it a
That's
little bit
assault.
faster.
Your life will now be
If you get a
destroyed.
little
Your
bit
entire
quicker,
YouTube reputation
1,
down the
2,
drain,
10,
bro.
clear. Then
You just
fighting
attacked
starts.
that
Very
dude from
good.
behind,
Now,
bro.
one of the things that we try to teach
Wow,
the
people are
students
right
is when
about
they
your
escape,
kind.
they can get hurt 2 ways. One is
Yeah, you're not going to warn
intentionally,
people
the other
about
one
China
would
for
be
4 years.
unintentional.
Yeah, man.
If you
No,
really
my
think
full
about
story
it,
will
those
be
are the
told in
only
the
2 ways you
paperback.
can get hit on the
It
street.
will be
Whether
told.
it be by a rock, a stick, a gun, or whatever, it's still done intentionally. Now, sometimes when we do a movement, unintentionally,
You need to
it
know
can
if you've
trigger
done
a
wrong.
reaction from the person that
Martial
hit
arts
you
is
as well.
okay.
Now, from here, Joseph
You
is
can't
gonna
promote
be
martial
doing a
arts
technique
rules for
or
thee,
a side
but not
headlock.
for
Now,
me.
as he gets a hold of
I've
the
never
arm and
trained in
headlock,
advanced
he's gonna do is
jiu-jitsu,
gonna take a step forward,
ever.
gets to the kidney,
Or put anyone into a
pulls
complex
the head
hold,
back,
ever,
and then
even if it was
punch back to
justified.
the face. Then he gets back into
All this is
defensive stance,
justified.
getting ready to either continue on or run away where he might not be bothered anymore. Now, he's going to go through it.
Your
slowly.
society has
I'm
destroyed
skipping a
foreign
little bit
governments
faster,
and
go right
nations
into
with
it.
weapons that they
Addition
even
kicks,
have.
there, pause
You're
back,
not really
getting back
one
into
to talk
defensive
about
stance.
how I
Okay,
can't
very
defend
good,
myself
okay.
against a thug,
Stay
actually.
right there, you guys. Okay, now the next thing is the aspect of using your common sense.
Satanism
No
uses the legal
avoid a
system
situation
often
you
against
think
people of
ahead.
God.
It's
If you
very
didn't know
important.
that,
Even though when we train the self-defense
I just think you
technique,
should
we
know
try to
that
tell the
at this
students
point.
to be
If
careful
you're
when
just
doing
defending
things
Jesus and
because
Trump,
the
why?
adults is watching
Why would you
this
do
particular
that?
segment. Try to understand that these people have been training for quite a while. So
If you
think
only
about
want to
it and
defend
do this
America,
well,
Trump, and Jesus, why
make
is
sure
that?
your mom or dad are supervising what
I'm
you're
just
doing so you won't
curious.
be hurting each other, either by purpose or by accident, obviously.
Feel free to send
But
me
keep
an
in mind,
essay
the most important part to
that
remember
you
in
asked
this segment is
ChatGPT to
always
write
use
for
your
you
common
because you
sense.
couldn't do it
Be
yourself.
aware of your environment, be aware of where you're at all times, and try to stay away from areas that might be dangerous to you. It could be dark alleys, it could be, you know, when you see people that you don't know coming towards you, you know, try and go the other way, or run if you have to, because that works as well. Try to understand that.
What is G-Man doing in LA to warn white women about an apocalyptic future? I think he was more into drawing creepy pictures of demons grabbing women. He drew these pictures. Hey, G-Man, you still got those pictures? You got a website with those you know, the pictures of the creepy hand? You know, the creepy hand. Love that Joker.
If you can avoid a situation, do it, because that's the greatest defense that you can learn in any type of situation.
No.
First and foremost, children should be taught the importance of being aware of strangers. If a stranger does not leave you alone, it is your right to use whatever means necessary to defend yourself. But of course, if at all possible, avoid the confrontation. This is the smartest self-defense. Children are abducted every day. This child believes he has a safe path around the car and the stranger, but as you can see, it is not as safe as he thought. Now let's look at some ways out of this problem.
In this particular situation, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using Jeffrey to demonstrate.
I understand that some women have kinks and they enjoy a little adventure. But to actually put yourself in a situation deliberately to be taken advantage of, either from a date situation or allowing your government to be taken over by bad men at the macro level, is just not good. You don't want men to take over society. You want some of us good men to have a role to play. You're wrong. You're wrong to think I should just be in the ghettos or off-grid and not in your town as mayor. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I should be in control of something in your world and leadership. You're wrong. You're wrong to think this video should be just our little secret. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
He's going to be down where his feet are in the ground, so now he can use that as a form of a support. Now what I'm going to be doing here is he's there. He's going to go through it very slowly. I come in and I attempt to choke him, either to pull him into a car or just to control him somehow. Now from here, what he's going to do is going to check my hand. He's going to kick right into my leg. From that point, he's going to wind away from me and then do a kick and then get ready to run away from me, so he won't be in any particular danger at this point. Let's go through that again a little faster, okay, Joseph? So I come in and say, grab him, kicks, he kicks again, then he gets ready to run away from me.
The important lesson to be learned here is, Children should not be afraid to fight back when they're in danger.
So what is your excuse for
yell
getting
out
angry
and
with
draw
me
the
when I
attention
tell
of
you
others to the
that you
scene?
should be training your wife and your children for self-defense? Why do you get angry when I bring this up? Why do I have to show you a videotape like this from the 80s to wake you up? That was a question. That was a question, because I know you're thumbing down. I'm sure some of you thumbed down my video from yesterday. I didn't look, but it's almost guaranteed. At least 4 or 5 of you thumbed it down. It's almost guaranteed. I won't look.
Maybe you cannot kick that high, so what you do, you stomp into the foot, elbow.
Because I don't take steroids. I'm not built like a man. You think less of me, some of you, for promoting martial arts. I get it. I get it. That's why only one of you can like the Substack post. Yeah. Actions speak louder than words, in case you never heard that phrase before.
Clear his attack, stomp, hit, you hook his feet, then
that's interesting. That's a very good last strike there. Remember that for the spring baton.
Right in front here. He comes in and you block.
I've told you more about using the spring baton than most martial artists, in case you're slower than what both of us know. Okay, there's no instructions on spring baton out there. And the internet's been around for years. You know this, right? No, but you know this, right? But wait, you know this, right? The internet's been around for years. Why is there not deep level of info on self-defense of basic common stuff to avoid murdering a man? Do you have an answer? Because I could show you videos that tell you how to kill a man with a gun. And movies. And then you can watch Schwarzenegger murder cops and later become the governor and then lecture you about racism while it cheers on the war in Iraq and Afghanistan and goes, love that barbecue.
Down the street. As he does, he's threatened, hits to the groin, hits to the nose, hooks him, throws him to the ground, and keeps going. One more time fast. As he comes up, strike, hook him down, you're on your way.
Again, we have young people picking on seniors.
The A-man experienced bad luck after throwing me away.
Making his way, walking the broad walk.
He hung out with people that glorified the murder of my people. Military men. The A-man hang out with military men that hurt him. Hopefully you've learned from your mistakes and you're not continuing mistakes. That would be unfortunate. Yeah, you don't want to fuck around like that, bro.
I'll slow this down for you.
Yeah, you asked me if I was stupid once. I mean, it doesn't feel good to be asked if you're stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Of this technique here,
I want to hang out with people that kill people like me. It's crazy if they think I should be their buddies. You got to say my life matters first as a prerequisite.
Assailant puts his hand on my shoulder. All I'm doing is raising the cane up over his arm, grabbing the cane, applying the pressure, follow through with it as I knock him down, apply the pressure to the throat, still having leverage on his arm. He can put added pressure with the leverage on his arm, and the old man can make his way. Let me show you that in another situation here a little faster. Now again, he's accosted. Old man just raises his up, down, here, down, boom. And then the old man kind of walks away.
As you can see, this elderly man has used just enough force to defend himself and escape.
For business people, carrying a briefcase is a matter of necessity.
Yeah, what do you got in that briefcase there?
Now let the masters show you how a briefcase can benefit you in a self-defense situation.
What's happening here is where maybe someone's attacking you from your right side. You're walking sideways, you notice an opponent coming at you. What you're going to do, you're going to use your briefcase as a weapon or as a form of defending yourself, as well as a weapon. You hit into the bicep, striking right up.
Another technique is to take your jacket off when they have a knife and use that as a defense. You might have to use your shirt, maybe. If it's a dangerous knife, you might have to.
You sidestep as you use the briefcase as a defense. From there, you're hitting directly into the bicep. Then bring it up into the face. Knee strike, hitting into the kidney, then getting away to safety, okay? We'll go through it a little faster. As he comes in, boom, you clear, strike, face, knee, boom, then get into the kidney, then back into a defensive stance, making sure that the person does not continue to try to attack you.
Now I'd like to demonstrate the businessman's defense.
Like I said, you could practice this in the new lockdowns. I don't know if they're coming, but I have a suspicion. You have a suspicion, and there's articles suggesting it could happen.
Whatever, he's approached by an assailant at knife point. From here, he immediately, again, steps
I hope
outside
at
the
least
assailant.
3 or 4 of you appreciate me putting this out there, and that you're not all disliking it. But I'm not going to look at the ratio. I'm just going to go by intuition and vibration.
By myself.
I'm not going to let the machine dictate how I act and what likes, dislikes I see. I'm not going to look, and I'm going to go just on vibration. But it's based on that vibration that I don't want to talk to you on email right now. Okay?
It's advisable to wear equipment.
My own mother won't even talk to me when I try to instigate conversation with her back and forth. And so, yeah, I'll try to tone down, I guess, me talking about things, but no. No, I can't even get my parents to like communicate sentences back and forth about reality. It's so sad. It's like they believe I should be punished with a silent treatment when I'm actually willing to talk to them. It's nutty, folks. So I'm not going to have regrets in the last days when they're gone, because I did everything I could to protect them spiritually and guide them through these dark times.
I bring both my hands up, grabbing his knife and pulling it by my neck straight away from me. Both my thumbs, you notice, are on his knuckles. My insides of my hands are on his palm.
This is also a legit technique.
Step back with my left
He's
foot,
using his weight.
keeping his momentum going this way,
He's twisting.
his wrist, causing pressure.
He's getting
here,
leverage.
bringing him to the ground. My hands are under this way. From here,
A woman can do it if she does it right.
out, disregard, kick, and
He disarms him instead of kill him. A lot of people would, you know,
my theory on weapons is
you risk it getting taken away from you.
always think of 3 things: identify, control, and disarm the weapon. Next technique.
Lots of weapons could be disarmed with the right defense if they're not using it correctly. Things like spring batons could be, you know. And I myself have had cameras kicked out of my hands, and I wasn't even expecting it when I was just telling the guy in Portland, Oregon at the waterfront that I wasn't going to buy his weed.
Bringing him to the ground.
And the black guy kicked the camera out of my hands, and his white friend
To the ribs and escaping the situation.
threw it in the river.
Do it one time with my
And then their Hispanic friend, looked like a bouncer, got up,
He holds the knife on me.
and I was humiliated.
Change the direction of his eyes so I can take advantage of his hand.
Year was 2014, Portland, Oregon. Place where people are getting killed now in downtown. They're getting stabbed. They're getting stabbed in downtown. And nobody in Portland will get my stuff out there in Portland because they're on the dark side in Portland. The archons, until proven otherwise, until proven otherwise, until proven otherwise, until proven otherwise, the people of Portland, Oregon are not permitted to promote my work. Otherwise, they will be attacked by the supernatural forces. Think I'm crazy? Prove it. Show yourself as more powerful than the dark forces, than the voices in the head that cause the, quote, mental health symptoms. Show that you are alpha and that you can handle constructive feedback.
I would like to talk to you.
You can't.
Some of the pluses and
Not if you're in
minuses
Portland,
of
Oregon,
all.
you can't.
Before I do that,
It's
I'd
a
like to
city
talk
of
to
over
you. Do this at
600,000.
home. Make sure
This
that
is
you
why the
answer
people of Portland,
bill.
Oregon are being attacked and
Let you know
assaulted.
so we know what we're doing.
Evil is taking
I would
over.
like to have
But it's not
10
taking over my
meetings.
community. It's taking
Doing
over
this at
Portland,
home.
Oregon.
Again, I wanna
I know
tell
I've
you,
disrespected my community, but they're
points
so
of the body. You wanna
they're
prevent
more
the
together
points
on
of
a
the
level
body
than the
from hitting
people of
the
Portland
ground.
are.
And then
As fucked up
I'll
as they
run
are.
with-
Excuse
I'll
my
run
French.
through it with you on some of the exercises. I would like to start with Dennis in a squatting position. As he falls, he'll protect himself with his arms. But there are a few things that I like to emphasize here. He breaks his fall with the use of his arms and his hands. You want to break your fall.
I slipped the other day on a banana peel and fell like this.
Not the backside of the hand.
Where do you think I learned to fall? Hey, man didn't teach me nothing about falling that I can remember. I don't know.
Fall, making the palm of your hand and
I don't
the
call
inside of
nothing.
your arms to hit at the same time. Both arms arms at the same time.
I slipped on a shirt, actually, or something. I literally fell on my butt days ago.
To his chest.
And I did one of these, a half one.
Keeping his chin to his chest, he'll protect the backside of his head. The emphasis again here is to protect yourself with your arms to prevent injuring vital organs. We'll go through that again, repeating the exercise again in the squatting, starting from the squatting position. He'll fall and then he'll protect himself. Good. One more time, Dennis. Come up again in a squatting position. You'll do that. He'll fall back. He'll protect himself. Now, besides falling directly back, he might fall on his side. As he does this, he'll protect himself not only with the use of his hand and his arm, but also the side of his leg. He'll make sure that he's not hitting any points like the ankle bone. He'll also use the base of his foot to protect himself. Now, basically what we want to do when we protect ourselves falling to the side is that the arm,
like this.
And the side of the leg, as well as the
When you're thrown against the wall, this is also something to do.
We'll do this exercise on both sides. He'll flip over on the other side.
Right? So let's say you're getting thrown against the wall by my mother's boyfriend in 1994 and you're pissing your pants. How would you, you know, go against the wall? You'd want to do something like this, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now that's
you can see what the student has learned now is
interesting.
To fall, break his fall on the side of his leg. He also applied pressure with support with his arms and his hands. He utilized the base of his foot. Again, in a practical situation, Dennis, when an opponent comes and be a exercise falling on the back, he approaches me with the fall down.
Now, when the A-Man got punched by Brian Todd Mitchell in 94, I told you that story yesterday, he blames the doorman for not paying attention.
He couldn't utilize his legs, so he utilizes his arm.
He said the doorman should have noticed that the two guys were outside the club after they were ejected with 10 others, that he was being set up for a strike. That guy that he was critical of was a student of Chuck Norris. You could be a student of Chuck Norris and still be naive when a couple thugs are setting up the A-Man for a double strike to the eye. He got up like Chong Li in Bloodsport and dropped him. But did Willamette Week become fascinated with the A-Man story? No. Whitelandia, Portlandia, is more interested in a gangbanger. Whoop, whoop. Raise the roof. Whoop, whoop. Raise the roof. Whoop, whoop. More interested in a gangbanger than a man that survived fighting Nazis, gangbangers. Not so much Islamic terrorists, although Schwarzenegger might lead you in that direction with True Lies, while crying about the Nazis. The man's so innocent. That would be the A-Man's shortcoming, is seeing something in these collaborators with the new Nazis. Whether it be his former bodybuilding partner, who passed away a couple years ago. But did the substances he took have anything to do with him passing away is all I've thought since it happened. All I've thought of. And how even though he's a Republican, how leftists just love his ass in his part of Southeast Portland because he's just the dude, right? Despite his politics. But you admitted yourself the dude couldn't fight despite being a bouncer in the 80s, that he himself couldn't fight.
Practice these exercises. Make sure that you're doing it on some
so people basically look up to fake guys that take supplements, steroids rather, that can't fight, unfortunately, and people go along with like the phoniness of it all. The pro wrestlers and the whole show. Well, like we need like a resurrection of genuine tough guys that want to defend women and create civilian defense forces in their community, which I'm going to talk about how to create. If you are able to connect with men and women in your community, I believe in prepping, defense, without relying just on the men that have the legal right to own guns. You can't just defend on the men that have the legal right to own guns. You can't. And I'm not impressed by the men that you've picked so far to be in leadership, the guys that are holding the big, big guns.
Is the fact that while executing the block, you should pair
The men, the women collectively have picked don't impress Alex Ansary. So the collective decision of the women on Earth, right, is not something that I'm like, wow, that's something I'm going to get behind. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm going to follow this man. No, I follow me is what I do. And tell you to follow me, and tell you to tell others to follow me. Never even come up to my realm and tell me to follow the rear end or anus of another man, be it Trump, Alex Jones, or another scumbag. I am my own man. Respect that. Get off on that. Stop asking me to be in a bisexual orgy with dudes whose cocks you like. Okay, you need to respect powerful men or find yourself taken over by the evil of the world that you allow to be in power. These are legit moves too. A little bit more karate-ka than the circular motion that I prefer, but you never know when you need to deliver a hard block, karate-ka block, even if you think your jiu-jitsu is superior. I remember every troll comment, every email since the dawn of time because I am a super brain that has not yet been measured by science. I've only been attacked by your technologies. My DNA has only been harvested, and if they've cloned me, they've done it in ways that I don't know.
I'd like to demonstrate an outside to inside block against a hook punch from the left. Dennis? And with this,
double block.
note that the power as it comes upon his arm.
So he's striking into that nerve area. He's not just doing circular motion. He's zapping that. He's disarming that person's arm from continuing to be a threat. Basically, he's not just doing the softy approach. He's going wang, fill that, and immediately moving with the same hand.
For overhand strike. Dennis? Note that the arm is above my head.
So answer me this: who's doing more to teach you self-defense? This guy, or Mike Tyson and Andrew Tate? Who's doing more to teach you self-defense? This black man of heterosexual orientation. Okay, and if you know of a powerful black gay voice that's out there, feel free to tell me what his name is and what he's got to say, and we'll talk about it. We will talk about that truth. But if he can't, there's a reason for that, and you need to know why. Put the truth before your lust, and you will come to know God and freedom. No man should have to give it up to have shelter, to have housing for the coming apocalypse. I don't have to sleep with anybody, and I don't. And I'm proud to say that I have not fornicated with demon women for over 7 years. The last woman that I fornicated with was not well. And she had lived in Colorado, and she's definitely not watching right now. As soon as she figured out what I was about, there was the second she's like, why would I do something so stupid and not screen the men and their background and caring for society before I slurp upon them? Oh, she hated herself real royally for even looking at me in 2017 around April. Spring, and then bad things happened to me after talking to that witch. How dare I be such a stupid man after everything I thought I learned, and open up the doorway for bad things to happen to me after that, and for a decent woman that I knew once who visited me from Arizona to never talk to me again, but she didn't like me anyways. Palm strike is important, and a woman should know how to do a palm strike, and I showed you a circular motion palm strike combo, didn't I? With one hand. You want to be able to defend and strike with one hand, okay? Knife hand, I'm showing you that in my coming videos, and ridge hand, and the underhand. And if you haven't seen Karate Kid 2, where he does the knife hand strike through ice, he does it to rock and roll over you by the Moody Blues. That could be lethal to the throat. The throat chakra. You strike a chakra, you affect the energy system. I've been struck in the chakras by thuggish black dudes, and it hurt. It affected my energy field and my emotions by being struck in my solar plex chakra with the guy's fist and feet.
Coming from a upward to downward type strike. With that, the final
it's an emotional experience because you're being attacked by someone's hatred. So it's not just physical violence, it's hatred. When I've been punched in the face over and over and over as a child, it was hatred from all the races, except Arabic, Middle Eastern, or Asian. White, Latino, punched the crap out of me as a baby. Whites and Latinos just hated me so much growing up in school. Just, wow, we have to knock you out. Now I know that you can pick up on demon children by like, parents are stupid for thinking that public school is normal. There's nothing spiritual about a new age woman who puts her kid in public school in the 80s and 90s. Nothing conscious about a woman like that. That would ever put her kid in like Wilson High School. Nothing spiritual about a woman like that. Who'd also think that black kids punching her kid in the face, that's his karma from past lives. That's a Satanist who hasn't repented.
And their entire shin area is very effective. And the top of the knee area.
It's almost as if my mother cursed me as a baby or something through witchcraft to have me mauled in life. It's almost as if it was the agenda.
Say if I'm using a very hard street shoe, I can attack with a snap to the groin, using the tip. Also the same.
And it's like the A-man resisted her agenda. When she threw the A-man out of her life, he continued to try to help me.
The side of the foot is very effective for
without telling her,
fighting,
because he knew she was not well in the 90s and nice anymore. So he helped me secretly with self-defense items, which she later took away from me, thinking self-defense is bad.
Also, the inside of the foot can be used in the same
but
sense
anal beats,
of hitting the knee,
good.
and also
Self-defense, bad. Abusive boyfriends,
using the heel to strike,
good.
a very hard part of your body. You can just a very simple.
Like there has to be a book for women if you're going to have kids. These 100 things I'm going to suggest you kind of try not to do. And these 100 things, I'm going to say, go for this, honey. You want some positive, points with God? Teach your son how to be a man.
Very effective street.
Support him if he's against human trafficking in the pornography industry. Don't just sit there in silence because you have lust. Learn to separate your own carnalism, whatever you like and have done in your life, from someone being critical. If you can't be against human trafficking of women and you're listening to this program, you are like low-grade garbage. You're garbage. You're garbage, you're garbage, you're garbage, you're garbage, you're garbage. If you're against me raising alarm about the real sound of freedom reality, there's something wrong with you, son.
Very effective because there's so much of a target that...
Like my dad's family is totally taken over by evil for not seeing me as the protector of their people. You get this, right? Do you think you're different? If you resent me for warning about what's happening with women and you don't support my message getting out there, newsflash, honey, you're a part of the problem. And I'm totally cool with you unsubscribing right now for being upset with me being fiery. Because I will not tolerate weakness in this classroom. I'm not here to be your punching bag. You are going to learn to defend yourself in mind, body, and spirit, or you're going to leave this class and fail. And if you fail, it's not going to be my fault. It's going to be your fault. It's going to be your fault if you ignore all this time that you have with whatever means you have to have this time. You should have been training during COVID. You shouldn't have been on Pornhub playing video games. I look down upon people that play video games. You need to know the truth about me. If you're sitting and you're spending all your time playing video games, I think we have a problem, Houston, Portland, New York, LA. If you're watching alien porn and you can't get off on the regular porn, honey, you got to try new sex position to get off. You got to put the Nephilim stuff down. Now this is
There are other ways
interesting,
to
pressure
utilize it.
points and such.
Say he
Okay.
grabs my hand. What I'm going to have to do is lock his hand to hold it here, which I turn my hand
time for a
over
protein
on
shake.
his wrist. This locks.
Okay, this
and puts
can
pressure on
work.
these bones here, bringing him down with pressure.
To that
This doesn't
degree,
seem like
depends
it's
on the
doing
man's
anything,
strength.
but it does hurt the opponent. Do it one more time. He grabs. I place my hand on his hand, circling over.
This is
bringing
far
him down.
simpler than a lot of
Another way,
jiu-jitsu
say
holds.
grab. This is also good for a woman if someone's
Pay
getting
attention.
stressed. Put the hand on.
It's a double.
See that the thumb is on the knuckles. Taking the hand.
Like my brain has
grabbing
memorized all
under
this.
This
It's a-
point, it turns the wrist. He can turn it to a point, and then he has to go with it and down. If I want to turn him the other way, same thing. My thumb is on his knuckles, and I grab under the hand again at the palm, turning in a circle, putting pressure with my thumbs, bringing my other hand to the knuckles also, pushing down. He has to go down. Now this seems like he might be able to get away, but it's used as a technique to control and hold if you want to use another technique on him, like a low kick or a kick to the leg to bring him down. Another way, if he's choking me.
So, people need to be strong enough to hear out someone else's story, especially if they have truth about the New World Order, and that's my message to you. So, I did message someone, just so you know, who, is someone that some of you watch, okay? And he's got his own thing going on where people visit him, okay? And there's a couple of different people that are like that, they have their thing where no one really fuck with them, the algorithm, and they have, like, basically a pass to do whatever. And so what I do is I give people the litmus test, and I have a secondary channel that you don't know about. It's more like a 6 channel. And I'll send that channel to them, and it has content on it that doesn't have my best stuff, but just has me talking about my life and me trying to wake up locals. And I sent that to him, and he's basically criticizing me sharing personal details and using a Gmail while he is on BitChute. And yet he had so many videos that he could have gone through to get at my essence, and he failed to show me that he was spiritual and what people refer to him as, which is a word that I won't use. But it's something that you would associate with spirituality and knowledge. And he showed me that he's basically a retard. While people think highly of him because he has the look and he does the tobacco, smokes the tobacco, and so he fits the prototype of what these other white men want to see in him because he tickles their funny bone in a way that I don't. And I talk about things that make people feel uncomfortable about their society because I'm angry with the society. I'm not impressed by it. And some of these men, they like the society and they think that there's like an awakening process going on. Sometimes they use this terminology called Great Awakening. I don't. It's like the Great Retardation. I told you what I demand to see if you disagree with me and you believe that we're awakening. Like, there is like a laundry list of expectations and love that I expect to receive from society and support to even think for a second that there's change. If people don't see anything in me, why would you think that I would believe that the world's changing? There's no rationale in that. That's crazy talk. No, that's crazy talk. No, but that's crazy talk, though. You understand what I'm saying? That's crazy talk. To say that the world's becoming conscious, yet I'm still in the ghetto, and no one's bringing me to Portland, Oregon for a party. Where's the MDMA that I need? You know it's in Portland. You know it's the city where it's at. So why can't somebody get me some MDMA? That's medicinal. I'm sorry, what? I want to go to the beach on MDMA. I'm sorry, what? You can't help me. Exactly. That's the problem.
And you miss, you're going to get hit. So, you want to block and then grab, bringing my right hand up slowly to the knuckles, turning him down. One more time. I block, then grab, bringing the other hand up, turning, and down. Now, stay down. From this position, I have my knee here. I can also lock his elbow or utilize a kick. If I want to block inside, again, I use an inside block. My hand drops down, so my thumb is over his knuckles. This hand comes up, which is also over the knuckles and under the palm, turning him this way. Again, I use it to utilize a kick anywhere I want or a chop. Now I'm going to go through just these a few times fast, showing you through practice with this tape, Self-Defense for Everyone. Everyone can utilize it and do it at this speed. That's right. Block, taking him down. Locking both my fingers on the thumb. My thumbs are on his knuckles. My hands are in the insides of his hand. One more time. Locking, fingers down.
So that's circular motion there again.
Very important.
But you need a partner
I move my target
to make the
to get
connection.
the momentum I need.
I'm handicapped by not having a partner.
Giving him somewhere to fall to.
It's pretty sad. None of the women that I've actually ever had sex with ever had an interest in this type of stuff. And that one woman that I was fond with, when I sent her a video of me punching the bag, she said she was horrified.
Down.
So women are horrified by a man that's able to defend them without a gun, without murder. That's interesting. Wow.
Block again, my hands are here. Bring him down. I can strike. Okay. A little faster. Block, fingers over, down, strike. One last one. He grabs my wrist, comes in. I grab, lock, over, he's down. Strike. This is basic hand grabs, wrist locks in Self-Defense for Everyone that everyone can do if you practice time and time again. Watch the tape, go over it, think about what you're learning carefully, and practice it carefully. Thank you very much.
Milkshake, protein powder, organic milk, $6 a gallon. Rarely can afford it, rarely. But I'm going no fast food today, no microwave.
There are many, many weaknesses as
Organic potatoes.
that we can use
Organic
to
potatoes.
incapacitate our attacker.
Protein powder.
Guys,
Do I need to use creatine, do you think? What am I missing other than the juice?
Temples are hollow space.
You guys want to see me on the juice, don't you?
When
Alex Ansary takes steroids. Take one.
cause either serious damage as far as blood vessels,
Maybe I should
bursting,
consult the
or
owner of Foster
cause
Fitness on
of
this.
these
He seems to be an expert according to Google.
It's made up only of cartilage, which when struck can break very easily. Also, a very vulnerable part is the area right where the nose and the upper lip meet.
This is also a place to tap. Emotional freedom technique, where you tap here, the collarbone, these same areas where you strike are also places to release trauma,
And then we have
including the root chakra. That's right. So when you have a man and a woman loving each other, it does cure trauma. And the proof that humans today are taken over by demons is they rather fuck real hard and real nasty, tough love style, instead of actually simulate almost paradise, which is romantic lovemaking for, say, a period of 30 to 45 minutes, creating a powerful auric field around each other to where you two are invincible. But see, these are the crazy thoughts I have from another planet. I'll let you watch this, and I'll just go back to hallucinating like love. This is important too. This is legit. Watch Tiger Claws on YouTube.
The temple we can strike with either both hands coming this way, breaking the bone area. The bridge of the nose, as we saw earlier, we can use a hammer fist. The upper lip and nose area we can use as the heel of the hand and actually press upward, striking very, very hard, which can possibly push the bone up to the brain.
Only in a street situation with a stranger who doesn't know you. Not with some dude who's attacking you who knows your name. You're not allowed to defend yourself against anyone that knows your name if you're in my body. You can only at most let your body resist, but you're still going to get in trouble if you resist Kyle Jacob Butler. You know, you're not allowed to resist Kyle Jacob Butler because he is Lord. And Satan's gonna reward Kyle Jacob Butler, and hardly any of you have even thought to make sure that that man is held accountable for his actions. Some of you, right, fondled his testicles and got off when he did what he did and participated in the energy frequency that he kicked off. Kyle Jacob Butler of Utah, the man that beat his wife. The man that beat his wife. Paige McLuggage. Paige McLuggage. The woman beat by Kyle Jacob Butler. Y'all are wife beaters in support of wife beaters, right? And the anti-white hatred, like the real shit. Not this comic book anti-white hatred pushing back against Nazi shit. No. I mean like the real genuine anti-right shit. Yeah, some people, right, they're all about white power or all about the anti-white. In reality, if you want to get like legit with it. By making shit up, right? When a leftist and a right-winger come together over the brown man that you hate, you have a pact in hell. And those souls are bound together forever for their actions. And there's nothing that I could ever say or do that's going to take that back. Okay, you try to stop a child of God for warning men and women about China and Russia, there's going to be energetic consequences that I have nothing to do with. And who knows when it comes or how it comes. But it's not good when you stop good men from trying to warn people and you're in denial about what happened and evil possessing people to do things. I told Kyle Jacob Butler that I was born and I'm there to warn about China and what's coming. Now just end of rant.
Right onto the shin area. You're going to kick straight forward into it, or kicking and scraping downward.
Big Trouble in Little China is a good movie. They're both in that movie. This guy and Yujiro Okamura.
There's a
back of the head.
very simple object.
I don't know where they filmed this, but being that they're Californians, that might have been filmed like in the California desert. This, I learned a lot from this clip. I've never looked at a pin the same way since this video.
I have to use my thumb to hold it, or my small finger to hold it in place. So I come up with some basic, very basic, 3 basic techniques that I want to go through with you. Basic number 1, I cradle the object. Cradle the object in the hand. This way I can still grab. I can still punch. I can claw without losing the apparatus or the object. I can also work it, being that it's sitting in the palm of my hand, I can palm to his forehead. This will sit right in on a bony structure on the skull, causing severe pain. Basic number 2, I use it as a pincher. So in a basic movement with the fingers, I pull it on the side. Now, if the individual should grab my wrist, I use the pinch action against the bony area. He releases, then I can follow with a technique.
There's something called a ninja keychain. Might want to get it. Get one for your daughter. Make sure she knows how to use it. And mace.
I can go to the eye. I can go to the throat. I can go to a bony area like the collarbone, as well as
he's gonna roll him.
I can go to the nose. It'll go in the nose.
Oh, that's some. Never mind. Old school stuff right there.
Carry can become weapons. Let me go through this with you again. Basic number 1.
By the way, some interesting Tonto swords for self-defense on eBay. Taking a look at the $27.99 mass-produced special, the Tonto, on eBay.
I can use it as a pincher. I can go to the throat. I can go to the wrist. Basic number 3.
Spring baton, folks. I'm one of the few humans that ever showed you spring baton defense. And it's like, I'm not even a martial arts teacher. You know that, right? No, wait. You know that, right? A lot of these dudes want, not this guy, but a lot of dudes want massive bank from you before they teach you jack, squat. You know that, right? If you want to learn how to use a sap or a blackjack, you got to spend money to learn like somebody's like, that's it.
Mentioned some of the vulnerable points that an individual can hit. One of it would be a backhand to the temple. I can hit to the collarbone.
That may be the ninja keychain.
Backhand to the throat.
Now,
an object like this here, once we find the fundamental usage of it, once we find the thing that we can do with it,
I don't know about the flashlight tasers. What do you think about the flashlight tasers that are on the market on eBay for 20 bucks? Is that good? I don't know about that stuff.
Against a bony area, such as his wrist, to make him hurt. In this vulnerable position, as previously described by...
But flashlights can be effective for hammer strikes, what you're seeing here, and those modern technologies of flashlight, baton, tasers. This one I like. I like this a lot. Ba-boom, boom, boom, ba-boom. Outer Southeast Portland right there. 56th and Foster.
Is the stun gun, such as this woman has. She didn't just buy it and use it. She's been trained.
A guy was coming out of Foster Fitness that watched my show and got knocked out, according to the A-Man,
having your defense tools, whatever they may be, ready.
just because he was fit and worked out.
Attacked, it always happens without warning. Let's see how she handles the situation.
Okay, so I didn't know this taser scene was coming.
Detail how to use this device safely.
Through data compiled by rape crisis centers, we know that most women are raped by either someone they know as an acquaintance or in a date situation.
Okay, listen.
Now, if you know and understand,
I'm just being honest here, and I'm just letting it spill out, okay? If you at one point realized that you need mace, and then you realized that you needed to learn how to use mace, I would provide some constructive feedback for your previous male companions. They should have already prepped you for this. You know who I'm talking to, right? You know I'm talking to you, honey. So if you were with a warrior before and he didn't already tell you how to use mace, you know, I'm not a fan of that ignorance. Because this person, I did ask in the past to teach me the ways of the fist to the women, and this person said no. And I don't care, like, if Miyagi can do it, others can do it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is who I am as a soul speaking. So I'm a woman in a past life who's been raped. So what? Deal with it. Or a dude who lost his family and saw his whole family raped and massacred before his very eyes. So what? Deal with it. But it's obvious I have past life trauma. And if you don't know that, you're not psychic. And if you're not psychic, I'm not impressed with you. Because there are psychics that do exist. And some of you that have been on the dark psychic side aren't on the side of the light. And I need people that are on the side of the light that are psychics in my audience. Because we've had psychics in the audience that are not on the side of the light. And we need them. 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 I said that we need to protect women from trafficking in the Reddit group, and they said it's the least of their worries during World War III. It's the first thing that's going to be happening. Women are going to be taken and sold as products, period, when the American system collapses. And American conspiracy theorists don't care. And so if anybody ever does become intelligent in the future that finds my work and begins to download my words physically on their hard drive, because you know they wipe people out like me eventually. Either, if not me, then my content. People like Doug Owen of BlackListedNews.com, who you people won't hold accountable, deleted 10 years of my content, and you people don't even care what I talked about for 10 years. When I had rock and bumper music, Van Halen, Metallica, Megadeth, I rocked with the best of them. You think you only had Alex Jones for 10 years? I always existed, people that just found me. Through the Obama years, I existed on the radio. I had shows for years. Doug Owen of Blacklisted News and the co-creator of the neo-Nazi website The Daily Stormer both co-conspired to delete everything I ever said on oraclebroadcasting.com. And if you feel like you're a woman enough to say something about it, then you need to go to blacklistednews.com and send an email. The dude's listening right now. He signed up. But the dude's too feminized to take accountability for his actions. The dude said all I did was rant about my life and shit, when in reality I talked about plenty of things. And interviewed David Icke. He doesn't care that I interviewed David Icke. You think he cares I interviewed David Icke? Dude doesn't care that I interviewed David Icke.
And this, it'll not only make you aware, but also prepared to handle the
There was a lot of interviews that guy deleted.
Understand that she's been asking him repeatedly to take her home, but he disregards her and takes
We talked about human trafficking, self-defense, Portland, domestic terrorism drills, homeland security. We talked about a lot of things. But I admit I was emotional. But, you know, Mark Passio is too, and people support him. I expect you to support me showing emotion.
It's late. It's time for me. Please leave alone.
Are you doing?
I've witnessed you show support to Passio, screaming at you and threatening to beat you up. I'm not threatening to beat you up. I'm threatening to beat up your demons. There's a difference. You will accept me telling your demons to get lost, and for your higher self, there we go again. That will work on the right dragon kick. Only for an extreme situation. Distract if it's your shirt. Use your shirt for the knife defense or briefcase. How many of you have a briefcase? You have a laptop bag. Oh, here we have ground and pound. Reverse. Get them off you.
In crime prevention tips from police departments and rape crisis centers.
So be sure to look for upcoming shows, which will help you live a much safer and healthier life.
Thanks for watching. We're sure you found Self-Defense for Everyone interesting and informative. Until next time, remember, stay safe.
And aware.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is my home, Colorado. I've been all over this state my whole entire life, okay? So I was born in Colorado Springs, and I lived in Greeley for about 3 years, and we moved out of there because my dad wanted me to know my grandfather.
We'll end it here, guys.
Because he was a great
Have a
man
nice
from
day.
World War II, and he made a lot of things happen. But he was not only that, but he was just
I'd love me some off-grid, martial arts,
I was out there for about 7 years.
sexuality,
and my mom fell prey
freedom,
to, she was one of the first of the
consciousness, spirituality, media.
Fiascos. Whenever you get sick, you lose everything you have. So
he's telling a story how he ended up off grid.
Open heart surgery, had a mitral valve put in, mechanical valve, and we went bankrupt, and we decided to move back to Colorado. So
2015 video.
Colorado. My father started his own business, medical transcription, did that for 15 years, grounded out. Okay, he was worth $500,000.
What am I most watched?
He could not get insurance because my mother had pre-existing. Okay, so
why do you think that is?
My father in 2004 has a heart attack. Okay, now he's
why?
Done. It's no more working. No, it's time to relax and chill out.
Because people identified with him and his plight. So this video had 500,000 views. But when I talk about my plight, then I, in the eyes of my critics, burned the bridge between us. Bridge burning. When I talk about in depth my story, I came to these people's aid. I defended them and gave this guy a lot of attention. And this guy and others grew to dislike me in a very, very, very strong way. These people actually came to blame me and the fact that I was a conspiracy person who wasn't an official journalist with official credentials, and for other reasons too. The fact that I made lots and lots and lots of videos, and I highlighted police corruption in San Luis, Colorado. And so while there was a lot of empathy for this man's story, there wasn't for what I went through. So we'll leave you with this. We will conclude. And I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about this. But what did I say? This wasn't just about physical self-defense. It was your right to self-defense also. And spiritual defense as far as protecting from evil. And your right to protect yourself from the evil aspects of the grid, which is what, folks? Which is what? Right to off-grid living. So, before Trump, I warned you about the Chinese invasion. And before Trump, I promoted you living off-grid in freedom, having forecasted this day. So for those of you to be angry with me that are Trump supporters and Biden supporters, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
Typing a little bit, and we're going to keep the business going. And Dad manages to pay the heart attack off with the visa. Okay, so we're okay. We can keep the house. We're doing all right. So about 6 weeks later, my mother throws a stroke. Okay, well, about 2 weeks, we rack up another $250,000. So bankruptcy it is. But what I did was I came I came back from Hawaii, where I was living, to help them rebuild this house and try to sell it in a crap economy that you can't sell any houses in. So we put some time in. I put a year in trying to rebuild that house and get it ready. Got it on the market, never sold. Finally gave it up to the banks and auctioned everything we had off except for what we could haul across Kansas. We took about a year, I think about 4 or 5 trips getting across Kansas with all of our stuff. These are fairly large loads. And the day that we got there, 2 days after we got there, a tornado comes in and blows it all over the county we just moved into. So my grandfather picks up, you know, he picks up the bid. He gets me a new roof, you know, gets me set up, because I bought a shop there, and my parents were going to move in with their parents because, you know, they just went bankrupt and they're 60 years old, so they're going to move back in with my dad's parent, with my dad's father. So we moved back in, and this tornado hits us. We get everything kind of cleaned up, and, you know, depression kind of hits in a little bit, you know, but we kind of climb out of it, and I got my mom and dad situated out there pretty good, got granddad off the planet, got him an honorable way out in the house that he camped in and built and died in. He camped in, he built it and lived in it for 40 years, one of the nicest houses in town, okay? It hasn't got a drywall crack in it, hasn't touched it. Anyway, there's that. So tornado, all this stuff. I meet my wife, have my children out there, and I finally say, okay, parents are set up, good to go. I'm gonna get out of here. I got a 1972 Greyhound bus that's built out of aluminum, stainless steel, and American iron that, you know, it's about 60,000 pounds and built for 3 million miles. It's indestructible. So I got that thing for my kids and I to live in while we came out here to Colorado to find the place that we wanted to live. My brother was nice enough to let us stay at his place for a while, but I couldn't overstay my welcome there, so we got a place up in Idaho Springs. It was kind of sketchy. It was a storage unit, but it had electric and gas, and everybody was kind of staying there on the low key, and they had built houses and everything was kind of okay, but I was still sketchy. So we drive around and we're looking for places to stay. We come down here and we find a place that you know, we can stay. You know, we can afford this. It's $3,000-4,000 for 5 acres, and you can camp, live on it, and build your house. Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. I've already got a house. The school's 6 miles away. My kids are going to be growing up here in the next 2-3 years. I need to get a house going. I want to have running water. I want to have all these things, but the county issued me a road access permit and a driveway permit. I cut those in, moved my stuff down, which took everything I got, and I went down to get my long-term RV camping permit or my construction permit, and I was refused those 2 things. So I'm not trying to move in and screw the county out.
Kind of hard to defend yourself if you're stuck in the city, folks. Kind of hard to defend yourself against the anti-white racism. You live in the city.
Not just one, not just
a person with my heritage defended you.
Mortgage.
Have you defended me?
That, you know, another
have you
resident
helped
can
me?
move in. Your bank can do the whole
it's
thing.
It's proven
again,
what I did for you.
Loan,
it's documented before God.
Without having to have
by filming this man when no man of Anglo heritage, full Anglo, would talk to this man and put him on YouTube. I took the bullet, folks. They did nasty shit to me for this interview. Don't you know that? They retaliated against me and evil forces for what I did for these people.
I don't want to be sucking on coal. I don't want these things. I want my children to understand that a carbon footprint matters.
Northern New Mexico has got evil people down there, and southern Colorado. Okay?
The future of humanity.
There are evil folks there.
So that they don't have to be incredibly clever to figure out how to fix the party that we left behind. Okay? This is an oil party, folks. We're eating.
Oh, dude, this dude hated me. Oil. What about war? War, man, and murder. War and murder. No, not oil, war, and murder. You're wrong. You're right, but you're forgetting murder. You're forgetting war and politics.
That's why I'm
You're doing the same thing Michael Rupert did. You don't have the full picture. You're wrong. And if you did, you'd have your own channel.
The people here are aware of what's going on.
No, they're not. They gave up in 2017 and let the sovereign citizens take over.
I want my children to know every single thing about this county. I want them to know about San Luis Valley.
You're virtue signaling.
This is an amazing place. It's one of the only places like it on
Say hi to Paul for me and Ryan McPherson.
I want to preserve it. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, you know what? I think men that went to Mexico to be with little boys should face accountability.
Anyway, my name's Michael.
But, you know, that's just me. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I've been in Colorado.
I hope that you guys are learning how to defend yourself.
I know what it's like to get pushed out.
Do you really, though? But do you really? But do you really? So yeah, it is really important to learn how to defend yourself. I worked really hard to find you today's video, and see you in the funny papers.